Welcome to Wicso 20. Last episode, so there was a recap. You know, recaps, recaps, recaps. So let's start with this. For the first area we're gonna be looking is actually the nomadic empire. Firstly, we start with the nomadic empire splitting. The guy who expanded the empire and was a huge part of the nomadic empire, developed it basically, dies. He splits his kingdom among his three sons. We have Western Kazakhstan, and of course Mongolia. This also includes basically in the east, where small Russian a bunch of Russians decide to move into the far-failing nomadic empire and conquer it, capturing these areas, moving here, and establishing their new kingdom. The home territory of the nomadic empire is no longer the nomadic empire, as it is officially dead. This territory there will be some people who feel unsure about, mainly merchants, about the future, as the fall of the nomadic empire could mean a series of wars which would not benefit trade, of course. We see some Chinese expansion down south, conquering the small tribes, yada yada yada. But what I want to focus on mainly is Korea. We know Korea has the explored is the most eastern area that was ever colonized. And some Korean sailors discover Hokkaido. They tell the Korean government about Hokkaido. So yes, we see the Koreans start colonizing Japan, as being mainly southern Japan, as they quickly stop. This is where they stop, and some communities and tribes are established near it. Some people also move up into massive parts of Korea, and nothing really big happens there. We'll expect for the discovery of the Indonesian islands. Malaysia was he was just stopped due to human exploration. Then they discovered Sumatra, colonized the Centennials, and boom, we got this. Along with that, let's not forget about the great bases that made by the Bengalis. This being on small line, this would allow for Bengal in order to secure its position to expand into Myanmar and areas like that. While in the south we see the formation of a new pretty weird country. That country is Khmer. The Khmer Rouge. That country being Cambodia. It would be formed down south. It is not now really. It's really because of the rest forming into tribal confederations that lasted about several years and similar things. But for Cambodia, it actually is united through a guy who conquers it. He creates the kingdom of Cambodia, and he then to become a massive regional player. The discovery of Sumatra and Brunei would be big, really big. With colonization of Sumatra moving more and more, with the entire island being colonized. The same with Brunei. Along with that, eastern China would be colonized as well. These areas that area also those areas also becoming massive, huge hotspots for culture, tribal culture specifically. But now we'll focus on we'll move into Europe, and there will be a lot of things. Firstly, the colonization of Catalonia. Of expansion of cities into Gaul. The Germanic Confederation, which just has a very easy clarification for cities, and has to deal with massive population growth due to its amassed resources, would start expanding into France. But this would anger the French. Many small tribal confederations would pop up and would be able to successfully defend. But we'll see the first actual strong tribal confederation form. This confederation, its name is this color is magenta. The confederation would start from a ruler in somewhere here. He had a former his grandfather had formed a tribal confederation against the Germans during episode 20. He died. His dad died in an assassination, and after the regency, he would start expanding. In just a few months, his new confederation trampled most other confederations, with many other confederations joining him. These areas I'll currently classify as tributes for this cutscene. He would expand into many areas, subjugating many tribes. Causing eventually him to lead all of this. After this, he would centralize control under the he would centralize control around himself, and he would start building up. By the way, this guy just was he mainly created cities out of his relatively loyal areas. He would still have his capital in basically a frontier region of Paris. Yeah, Paris. Yeah, that's technical Paris. I'm sorry for IRL capitals, but yeah, he would decide to launch an invasion against the Germanic Confederation. He would capture Caen, Normandy quickly, and the rest would be barely colonized and some minor forces, but he would trample on every one of them. The Germanic Confederation would be forced to back down, allowing for the establishment of the lonely French state. But this wouldn't go without its consequences, as many people, many exiles move here. Some and trade and person who was fishing accidentally moved here to here, allowing and this would become a major exile hub, eventually being reconciling with the Germanic Confederation, while the rest would decide to try send their signals to here, but since the peace treaty already happened, they did absolutely nothing than just let the people they escaped from colonize them. So yeah, these two, the newly formed Gaulish Confederation and the Germanic Confederation, already have an area to compete in. That would be the settlementation of Cornwall. The, the former of the Gaulish Confederation would have died by this point, so we're moving to other things. I mean, this is not linear, by the way. This period of time is either the late Bronze Age or something similar to it. Russia would become more and more discovered, and some people would decide to move into it. This would allow for colonization of the territories. Firstly, we have Lithuania moving in. Oh god, Lithuania. So until the Baltic country moving in, colonizing all of this, many people and exploring slash settling all of the eastern Baltic coast. Along with that, some people discover Gotland and discover Sweden. Sweden will become incredibly important for its copper, and many people would start moving into Sweden to mine copper, to sell copper, and to make money, as currency is starting to be introduced by this point. With northern Sweden now being explored and settled, the Germans would move into the eastern territories. The north would get discovered, but nobody would want to move there, so nobody lives in that area. This goes same with some chunks of Russia, as the Baltics become even stronger due to their growth in copper output. They would become a strong figure in the world. Finally, with this Baltic area being ended, we will finally move into here. where the homeland will have a civil war. And some native nobility. Okay, I don't have time. That will be the in for next episode. Goodbye.